Good evening, everyone. This is Arthur Robinson Jr. I'm the creator and host of Powerful Interviews podcast, along with my co-host, successful entrepreneur Jordan Phillip. And tonight we have a special treat for each and every one of you. We have a phenomenal businessman. He is the best-selling author of his phenomenal book, which is called Hollywood Godfather. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome the one, the only, the powerful Gianni Russo to the show.
Thank you, my man.
Welcome, Mr. Russo.
Now, I really appreciate you guys connecting with me. I know this. I love this whole new generation of life, man. You're teaching a dinosaur how to move forward.
Wow. Mr. Russo, can you break down layman's terms so the audience fully understand? Who is the phenomenal Gianni Russo? How long you been in your powerful industry, and what is your expertise?
Well, first of all, I appreciate your accolades. I'm not that powerful. I've been very successful, and I guess that comes along with being who you think I am. But I've been blessed, and anybody listening to your show, you gotta have a dream, man. If you have a dream, believe in it and pursue it. I'm 76 years of age, and that's what this book is about. I wrote this book to motivate anyone. I don't care what walk of life you're from, get out there and do it. I have no education. I say that now because I'm trying. What I'm doing basically with anything I do is raising money to create scholarships for inner city children, to give them the opportunity to pursue their dreams, because I was given so much help. So for me to be where I am, I'm so appreciative, and it just takes perseverance. So yes, I've done a lot of things. I've made 46 motion pictures that won 9 Oscars. My first movie won 5 Oscars, which was The Godfather, which is fortunately in 14 languages. And I was 25 years old when I did that. So that's, 51 years ago, which is even hard to comprehend. And here we are.
Wow. Now, Robert De Niro, he said a lot of great things about you. All right, do you have a powerful relationship with Robert De Niro?
I love Bobby. We've worked on a couple of projects, and if my wishes come true, which they normally do, Bobby will be playing Frank Costello in the movie called Hollywood Godfather, and Leonardo DiCaprio would be playing me. And I've gotten all kinds of friends calling already, because it's going to be like, I don't know if any of your audience have seen, I'm sure they did, because it's a big movie called Any Given Sunday. And we had 38 movie stars in that, including Pacino and Jamie Foxx and LL Cool J. So I'm going to create the same thing again in this movie. Every character in the movie is going to be played by a very recognized star. And it's going to be fun.
Wow. Now, have you ever met Joe Pesci?
I know Joe Pesci so many years, it's ridiculous. I knew Joe Pesci when he was a waiter at the Columbus Club on Columbus area, New York. He was working for a guy called Joe Dante. See, that's the thing about me. I know all these people for 100 years. I knew Danny Aiello when he was a doorman somewhere. And you know what's interesting? You all know Steve Sharippa from The Sopranos. He was Uncle Joe's bodyguard. Now he's on Blue Bloods. He worked as my doorman in my club in Vegas while he was going to
Wow.
So my history goes way back. Brett Ratner, who is a great director, chances are, Rush Hours, all that. I met him when he was 8 years old. I was dating his mother. It's so crazy, my life. I could pick up phones and, make the connection. But they respect me because I've done a lot of positive things.
Now, I seen a phenomenal video when you was actually on Patrick Bet Davis' platform, and I know that you was expressing to the audience that you said you never went to high school and you developed a
I never
bond
went
with
to grammar
Marilyn
school,
Monroe.
high school. Forget about it. I never went to school. Forget about it. No.
Wow, wow. How do you develop that relationship with Marilyn Monroe?
You know, if I had to sit here and try to tell you how, I don't know. But the thing is, I'm always at the right place at the right time. How I got to meet her was a strange situation, and it had to do with school. Because I was walking the streets of New York working as a messenger for a very powerful guy called Frank Costello. Frank Costello, for your audience that don't know who he is, Frank Costello was the underboss to the Vito Genovese family. And when Vito came out of prison, he wanted his family back. And Frank couldn't wait for him to come out because he and Meyer Lansky created what is known as the syndicate. And early on, which he taught me, to be well financed is where you want to be. To have money, which I spoke to your colleague earlier, cash is king. I don't have a credit card. I don't buy anything unless it's cash. And there's a lot of reasons for that because a credit card, any government can track you down and know where you're at. So if you want to be under the radar, which I love, 76 years, I've never had handcuffs on. This may sound very abrasive to some of your audiences. I never spent a night in jail. I've had 23 federal indictments. I beat 3 murder ones. So that's why I'm saying it. You got to be creative.
Wow.
No,
Wow.
You can never do that.
Now,
you know.
Now you said cash is king. Now let's talk about money. Now I know money is not value. Money is just a facilitator to do transactions. Can you explain to the audience how would you define money?
That's why, again, you go, I mean, without money in this world, we all know where we're going. Because then you have to humble yourself to people, have people invest in you. So what I did early on, which could never happen again, I don't think, and because of the fact that with all that's gone on after 9/11, I mean, I remember leaving this country with $1 million in cash and nobody even cared. I didn't even travel under my own name. But after 9/11, the Patriot Act, you can't make a move. But with all that, I mean, if you're not financed, which a lot of people have great ideas and they go out there, this is what we're into today. Our society today is a society where you try to go out and get yourself financed. I did the opposite. I got myself financed first. So when I said something, people would listen because I didn't need their money. It's harder now, but unless you come from a very rich family. But even then, if your ideas are not, acceptable and think that they could be a success, who's going to invest in you? It's a tougher arena now, tougher arena. But let's get back to Maryland. A truant officer, which I didn't even know what a truant officer was. I was in Bellevue, which is a mental institution in New York that was turned into a quarantine ward in 1946, 47. In 49, I got polio and I was quarantined there. And that's where I got my lesson in life, a lesson of survival, perseverance. I couldn't walk. By the second year I was there, I was walking. And by the 5th year, I ran out of there. And I have no resilience from it. I've nothing left. That was that. But what it did for me, my heart and my believing in myself, that's it. And that's the key, I think, of success. You have to believe in yourself, believe in what your ideas are. Because if you don't, once you open your mouth, everybody listening to you is going to know you don't believe in it either. People need people.
You said believe in your ideas. So ideas is the real capital or real wealth?
Well, if your idea is already out there, you're one of many. I'd rather be unique and come up with something. We've all witnessed the guy who had the hula hoop, the guy who had the pet rock, The guy who had these things. My idea at 12 years old was a ballpoint pen. It just came out.
Mm.
And it was very limited on where you can get them. So I met a guy called Leo Rabinowitz on Delancey Street. It was a few blocks up from Little Italy.
Mm.
And I saw in the window ballpoint pens. And I just came out of the hospital. And that's when we all had ink wells in our schools, something you guys would never know, and ink pens. So this was a convenience. You need a bottle of ink and you could write all day with this pen. So I took them uptown. I bought them for 15 cents and I asked nobody for any money. I stood there with my little gimp arm, but I didn't just stand on any corner. I stood on the corner of 59th Street and Fifth Avenue in front of the Sherry Netherlands Hotel. Everybody you look at was Sunday morning. They were they dressed in their Sunday best every day. I couldn't believe this. And I just stand there with my pen and they'd give me $1, $2. I bought it for 15 cents. And that's how I started my first business.
Mm. Mm.
It's ideal.
That's powerful. Wow. Wow. Mm. Now, where are you originally from?
Right here in New York City, man. Right here.
Wow.
6 years. I mean, I have other places. And people thought I was in real estate for a long time because I was buying houses. I have 10 mothers to my kids. So I had to buy them all a house.
Wow. Now, Gianni, can you explain to the audience so they fully understand what is the best advice that you have ever received in business as well as your personal life?
I got this information and knowledge from one guy. And if you could find a guy that you totally respect and know that he's not misleading you, find him. If you already have him, believe in him. The man who took me under his wing when I was 13 was Frank Costello. Most people would run away from him. I had no reason to. I was a young kid. And the knowledge this man exudes, you can't learn in a university. You can't even learn it on the streets because you probably get the wrong information. But you need to believe in somebody other than yourself, trust them, and listen. The first thing he ever told me is never lie. Look a man in the eye, shake his hand. That trust is worth more than any contract, any sophisticated document they want to create. If you could build people around you that believe you, you're on your way. I never forgot that lesson. Like you now, or young people listen to the show, male or female. If you go into a meeting and you're unprepared, you're going to leave doubt. Make sure you're prepared. Make sure what you're saying is totally believable. And how that's achieved is if you believe in yourself. You can't go in with a myth or a fairy tale. They've heard them all before. And I'm saying you can apply that to anything you want to sell, anything you're trying to achieve, even if it's a job application. People will know if you have the passion. Do you have the passion of your product? Do you have the passion of the job fulfillment you want? You know, I always approach everything. There's 10,000 people that want the same thing I want. How do I eliminate that and get it into my favor? And the only way you do that is you got to impress them. I'm always dressed to the nines. I've always tried to present myself with respect and giving respect. And the biggest thing is my greatest knowledge in the world is I listen. Don't always talk unless you are the king. If you have somebody there that you're in front of and you had the privilege and they're a CEO, a COO, or whatever they are, listen to them and listen to what they're saying because they're probably giving you a clue to how to get to where you are. It's simple stuff. I'm on the basis. All my thing is totally just what life's about. And nobody wants to be lied to. Nobody wants to be, who wants to be deceived? Nobody.
Mm. You say you had to follow your passion. So basically, you took your passion and turned it into phenomenal profits.
First, because I wanted to get the dollars. And then I got the situations. By the time I was 25, when I always wanted to be an actor. My first film was The Godfather. But, because I had the confidence, I made a great deal. And who was I to even make a deal? I took the opportunities, realizing where their weaknesses were. Paramount didn't know how to get to the mob. I already had the mob in New York that I could approach. And I used the default of a guy called Joe Colombo trying to do this bullying where he was going to keep unions in the locations. And it gets down to dollars. When I sat with Joe Colombo and I said, Joe, you're selling $1 a button, a little green and white button for your lapel for $1. And you're trying to raise money, as you say, for the Anti-Defamation League to improve the image of Italian Americans. Well, the Godfather book, in maybe 75%, has already done that. It's brought an awareness in a positive way. So why don't we sit down and try to eradicate the other 25%? And I can make a lot of money for you. Money is always the key. It's the softener. And he said, well, how are you going to do that? I said, well, like I pointed out, you're selling $1 a button. If you go in, and he had a great young attorney, who's still my attorney. In fact, his son now also is an associate, Barry Schlotnick and Stuart Schlotnick. Look these guys up. I always did, all my life, I always had a great Jewish attorney. Think about who controls the world in business. See, these are the things people don't realize. I don't care what your religious beliefs are. You have to build the positive building blocks. When you see that Judaism represents 15% of the wealth of the world, why wouldn't I want their advice? Why wouldn't I want them to teach me? And that's what it's about. So I said, let's get Barry Schlotnick. Let's go to the Gulf of Western building. I think I could convince them to give you the world premiere in every movie studio, in every city. That's a lot more than $1 a button. You're going to get $150 a head. And with the Italians, like so many other places, it's greed. They want to make money. So that's the other thing. Know when you go to a meeting, try to do your homework to see who you're talking to. The more you know about them, the less it's a situation where you break that barrier, and because you're addressing them on their own level. And that's what I've always done. So when I walked into the Gulf of Western building and I set up a meeting for Joe Colombo and everybody in 1970, 71, and got all the union problems, all the locations resolved in New York, my reward was I played Michael, Sonny, or Carlo. I played Carlo. It was insane.
Wow.
And that's what life's about. If you have an advantage, they tried to, we'll give you a part. I said, wait, excuse me. You're not giving me a part. I just negotiated a deal here for you to shoot in New York. Get the unions to cooperate. Get all the locations you want. You're going to give me a part? Forget it, but I'll take these guys and walk out of here right now. I'm 25 years of age. Again, I believed in
Wow.
And I delivered. My part has been, I've gotten tremendous accolades from all over, Cannes Film Festival, everything. They nominated me as most promising newcomer in a speaking part. But at that time, the category was male and female. I lost to Diana Ross for Lady Sings the Blues. Why not? She's a giant. I take the money. I always tell my kids, I don't go to the podium. I go to the bank. I'd rather go to the bank.
Wow. Amazing story. Mr. Russo, we really appreciate you coming on the show today, because the whole premise of our show is to educate entrepreneurs and business leaders on a national, international scale, that they can live the life that they truly desire, but they have to be open to these important principles. So I like what I see was on the news, so we create our own news.
Well, the thing is this, while we're thanking people, we have to thank Patrick Bet-David. This man, I mean, my interview with Patrick aired on Thursday night. I have 242,000 views all over the world. And so, I mean, that's why another thing. Always thank the people that help you, man. Don't jump ahead of the lines. Oh, I did that. You didn't do it. You and I would have never met. Always say thank you. And I thank Patrick Bet-David for introducing me to you, your co-host. And anytime you want me on, man, watch what I do in the next 25 years. That's how optimistic I am. I'll be 101 and I'll still be on your show.
Wow. Gianni, can you explain to the audience what truly inspired you to write that phenomenal book, Hollywood Godfather?
You know what it is? I've been so blessed, and there's no way of sharing it other than what we're doing now. And the book has brought me to, like, I did the Today Show last night in Australia, which went viral. I am now being able to touch so many young people. I hope I can encourage. They always say, save one life at a time, or save a child at a time. I'm looking to save generations. People are so confused with all this entertainment news, all these accolades they give these stars, that, as you know and I know, it's foolish. I tell my kids, which I have 20 of, I have 9 boys, 2 girls, 9 grandsons. If you can join the best country club in the world, if you want to play golf, great. I use that as an example. If you want to be an actor or an actress or be in business, you have to prepare for it. You have to build it. You just don't wish it. I mean, I knew the Kardashians since they were born. Our father was a genius. He must be rolling over in his grave. I mean, Christie's phenomenal. I know her. But look what our world has turned into. I mean, we're enmasked with people who have no talent, but they're encouraging our whole next 2-3 generations. You can't be these people. Like, the young sister is going to be the youngest billionaire in the world. What did she do? What's her credit? That's what bothers me. There's too many kids being influenced by the tinsel and not the knowledge.
Yes.
And that to me, I'm afraid of it, because I have all these grandchildren and I love what I'm doing, but we're getting consumed by the tinsel and not the tree. You gotta have a tree, man. And that's all
That's absolutely true.
That's
a lot of kids that's being influenced, by the Kardashians. Kim Kardashian, I mean, basically the product is her, and the only thing she has, well, she's basically glorifying to the world. Look at my big ass.
I know.
And a lot of women is just basically looking at that, and they say, you know what? I can go on Instagram and show my ass. But the thing about it is, Kim Kardashian is getting paid for showing her ass. You're not.
Look how many women have died now trying to get that ass in bootleg situations. I know 5 people in New York are going to jail.
Wow.
I don't want to throw them under the bus, but it's a great example. I mean, there's so many examples like that. But when you're trying to talk about business, which we're, like you said, this is what your show's about. Young entrepreneurs, if you're listening, understand what your product should be. Because you don't want something that's a fad, especially if you're going forward in life and you have a family and you want to establish yourself as a business person. See, I really established myself as a business person. I have so much business. Legal people say, like, how did you do this? I had 23 federal indictments by the time I was 20 years old. I created a new company, and the IRS and the SEC was going crazy because I created a touting letter. And everybody said,
Wow.
all I did, I was in Florida, and I put an ad in like the Sun, Miami Herald, saying any retired commodities brokers out of Chicago, stockbrokers out of New York, I have an opportunity for you to stay in your business, because how much golf can you play? You would not believe the response I got. And all I did was create a letter touting new stock that they were monitoring, and they would tell me. And we sent out a letter. And why the government couldn't convict me? I didn't ask you to pay me. I said, send whatever you think would be comparable for you to stay on our mailing list. How could we even know if we could drop them? We didn't know what they made, but people were writing checks to us. So I didn't need a license. You were being thankful to me. And I beat this in every court in the world. Believe me.
Mm.
And I did it by myself. I hired no attorney because I knew the law. And, it's my First Amendment right. This is my opinion. I sent the letter. They sent me a letter. I presented their letter. I did $14 million that year. And we're talking about in the 60s.
Wow.
They were trying to close me down. They couldn't close me down because I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't have an SEC license, but I didn't need one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not selling you anything. I'm not taking a commission from you. It's like you tomorrow morning go to any church you want, and you believe in this guy, and you give him $100 bill.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't getting arrested for that. And look at these churches. Now there's 3,000, 4,000 people every Sunday listen to these people. And look how they're living. I did it in business. I didn't do it spiritually. So, I mean, if you really listen to what I'm saying, there are so many opportunities out there that have not been touched yet. And it doesn't take a lot of money. It takes you believing in yourself and what you think can work. You'll find out right away. If it does, it doesn't.
Now, you say you didn't have a letter for the SEC. Now you're talking about the Securities Exchange Commission?
You got that right. Why did I need it?
Yes.
I'm not charging them. They're the ones that filed all the, because, I was interstate this, why? Excuse me. And, how I beat the case, you'll never believe how I beat the case. I went, these guys, their attorneys were coming in with milk cartons, with all their files and all this. There was a whole, on the defendant side, it was me, by myself, not a piece of paper. They had like 5 major guys, federal agents, SEC attorneys, and we were ready to go to trial. And the judge said, Mr. Russo, do you have a defense? I said, I have a defense. He said, well, are they here? I said, it has nothing to do with he, it's me. Which baffled everybody, because I was 19. I said, before you start the trial, I said, I don't want to embarrass the United States government any more than they're already embarrassed. I'd like to approach the bench. And everybody was buzzing in the room. So I approached the bench, and all these like 5 or 6 other young federal attorneys joined me there. I said, Your Honor, if you go forward with this trial, because I knew the loophole in the laws, I said, my mother and father, who I don't even talk to, I said, my mother and father are going to file a lawsuit. He said, on what grounds? I said, you're corrupting the moral of a minor. He said, what are you talking about? I said, I'm 19 years of age. You indicted me on 23 federal indictments. In the eyes of the court, I'm an infant until I'm 21. I didn't break any laws. He was soliciting money. I said, I wasn't soliciting any money. That's what I'm here to prove. I just said, if you're happy with your earnings, send what you'd like. When you go to mass, the priest says, we're going to collect a collection right now. Anything you give will be greatly appreciated. What did I do wrong? They called a recess, and then they called another recess. And I'm nuts, I really am. They called, we all went back, and they dismissed everything. I said, Your Honor, I said, I don't want to be, insulting to you. I said, but I was in every newspaper in the world. People out there think I've done something criminally. I would like a retraction from every bureau in the same paper, in the same section. Don't bury me under the obituary. I'm a young man. I have a whole life together. The judge couldn't believe me. He wrote me a letter afterwards. He said, I never seen a young guy handle himself against these guys. They wanted to jump out the window. And they were preparing for this case for 9 months. That's and the same message. Know what you're doing. Make sure we're in the law. I don't want anybody doing anything out of the law. Like all this marijuana, caca. This is a fad. This is going to last for a minute. The lawsuits are coming. Denver already said, like, what do we do? It's uncontrollable. The police now have to be retrained. How do you know the guy, there's no more alcohol on his breath? Now you have to have marijuana. I mean, I'm watching this as an old man. I'm sitting in the corner saying, they're creating ridiculous stuff. It's only going to hurt more people. But, Arthur, thank you for having me on the show. Because I want people to get the right direction first. Because a lot of people make an investment, then they're trying to bury themselves, trying to still pay off their student loans. Then they make the wrong move there. I'd rather have kids. Me, I'm blessed. I hit the street, made a lot of money. And that's what I want everybody to do, the same thing. And have the life I have. I have an amazing life.
Wow. Well, you definitely created a powerful outside the box life. Now, let's switch gears a little bit. Now, I know you never was in the Mafia.
Nope.
But I know you had developed relationships around the Mafia. Can you explain to the audience, how do the Mafia platform, like, how do they think in regards to business and really executing business principles in regards to getting things done?
Well, the interesting thing is, today, the Mafia or Cosa Nostra or anything you want to call it, is not what it was. So that in itself changed. The members of it now, which is the key word, which I spoke about early on, is respect. These new guys are in it for the money. They don't have the same values because they don't need to. When they created organized crime in New York City or around the world, it was to protect the Italian immigrant, especially in New York, because I know that, because they took advantage of the immigrants. It's, we all have had it in our heritage where people were taken advantage of. So in New York City, when these people were coming to America, where the streets were lined with gold, they found out it was lined with cobblestone. Don't even fall down, you're going to get hurt. So, and then they were being taken advantage of. So they created this thing where they needed to get a unit to protect their own people. And the only way they did it was through organized crime, organized labor, because they were not getting even the menial jobs to survive. Because, I mean, the Irish, I love the Irish, all my friends. When they were here in America early on, they were all the police, all the firemen. They had all the legitimate jobs. And then basically, the Italian immigrant was the donkey. Did the labor, the bricklayers, but they weren't getting paid what they should. Like now, I laugh when they say, "Oh, we should get $15 an hour." and I'm slinging a hamburger. God bless you, man, because, you know, I, I remember 75 cents an hour when you're laying brick. So
Mm.
that's fortunately we come to that now, but
Mhm.
that's where the demise of organized crime is now. Organized crime, there's really nothing left for them. The unions are all organized, and I think they're overdone now. We don't need unions to organize. If you're a professional, I mean, I'm sure every Teamster and everybody in the world are going to hate me, but I'm telling the truth. We don't need you to get $45 an hour and $10 goes to the union guy who's doing nothing. I mean, let's put the money where it
Wow.
goes. And, you know, one thing about me, I'll tell you my opinion. It's only my opinion, but I've done my research. Today, your question was about organized crime. I call it disorganized crime. It used to
Mm.
be respectful. It's disrespectful. All these young kids today, it's about themselves and how much money they can make and how long could they make it. It's sad. What the reason for this organization, just like anything else, was to build character and let people know you should respect these people. They came here to work, and then that got out of control, like everything does. It's the money. Money destroys most things. Look what it did to the
Mm.
Catholic Church. They protect pedophiles, and I'm a Catholic. I don't know what schools to send my grandchildren to now.
Mm.
But you know what I'm saying? There's all of
Mm.
this chaos right now. So you got to be careful.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I say, money is simply energy, and you got to be very careful of the energy that you allow to come into your life. And I love surrounding myself around brainstorm groups, but I love surrounding myself around like-minded individuals that want to win because business is war.
Oh, it always has been. And that's why instead of arming yourself with guns and weapons, arm yourself with other business you want to get into. Make sure you know the ins and outs of it. What's the downside on it? And what can you bring to it to make it more profitable for you first? I always say that to anybody. It's always about me first because my energy is for me first. I can take care of anybody else. So if you're going to do, oh, I'm going to do this for the world, don't do it. You'll never get up every morning with that enough energy. Take what you need for you, go forward and pursue your dream, man. Pursue your dream
Mm.
and hope people follow you. Because then you're building more disciples, more shepherds, more lambs, any way you want to put it. I have a tremendous amount of following. You know why? And I don't want to go back to the street, but I have to go back to the street just for this one phrase. I don't bullshit nobody, man. You want to ask me a question?
Mhm.
I'll give you the answer. The rest you're gonna whip cream it up. Get out of here and leave me alone. It's stupid. Life is simple. It's a four-letter
Mm.
word. Think about it. Life. Four-letter word, man.
Hmm. And that's
Wow.
another thing that makes me think, Mr. Russo, is, after achieving so much success, and you even said when you were kind of bringing some of the other gentlemen out of retirement back, you said, you'll only be so happy at the golf course for so long. What is it that, keeps you going every day, even after reaching such success? And do you think that's what keeps you, as, at your age, still extremely active and youthful? Is it the work that makes you the happiest?
No, what it is with me now, I mean, I can do anything I want to do. My mission now is I want to help people achieve what I did. People have helped me all my life. I cannot sit here and say I did this myself. If I didn't have the Frank Costellos and the Maya Lanskys and on and I can name thousands of people, even in the film business, that were impressed by me, they showed me the way. That's why I said the key thing is listen to who wants to give you advice. You can go home and dissect it. Don't insult them so you don't know what you're talking about because they may give you 10% of something you could use. I listened to everybody. So eventually I had 100%. If I listen, it's simple math. You listen to 10 people, you get a certain percentage. Listen to 100 people, you get a certain percentage. They did on the trial and error I don't want to do. I don't want the suffering pain. I don't want to lose my money. So I always went. I mean, I've talked to Jack Welch, general elector. I mean, I talked to John Kluge. I talked to, I mean, the guy who's my friend, Rupert Murdoch. Everybody wants to know I'm on Fox. I impressed them. When you're in a business, these are the guys you want to talk to. Find out who's in your business. How did they get successful in it? You know, Willie Williams, he's the Wilson rather. He's the North American president of Pepsi Cola. He's my friend. He likes to talk to me. But you know what he's given me in knowledge of some food products I'm coming out with now? You pick these are successful people. You think I want to stand on the corner and hear people's dreams? They never left the corner. Get off the corner, come up to the business where it's at, and hang out in that lobby, man. You're going to learn.
That's powerful. That's powerful.
Wow.
Think about it, Arthur. Hey, no, again, I got to say, Patrick, when that guy called me, I didn't know who he was. And then I checked him out. Look what this guy did. People don't know this. Patrick's mother and father, you read it in my book. Patrick said he left Tehran when he was 10 years old. I was there. I was fleecing all the banks for the Pasha before the Khomeini took. Wow. And he said to his mother, I interviewed Gianni Russo. She said, are you kidding me? I met him at General Madaba's house a month or two before the invasion.
Wow.
See, the dots all connect. You know,
that's true. Wow.
You know, we're all in a universe. We've all been here before. And that's my belief, man. It's crazy.
Johnny, let's talk about, let's just say if me and you and Jordan was in the process of, you know, doing a phenomenal movie. And I know preparation meets opportunity. And I know movies have to be financed. Do you have to get the actors together first or have the manuscript already in place so you basically pitch it to the actors, you know, they're ready to roll and they want to be involved with that project?
See, what I've done, and I talked to Jordan before he joined the party tonight, it's all about the script. Most of the movies that I made were books, including The Godfather. Wow. Godfather was 50 years old, March 10th. People don't know. Why did I want my book to come out in March? Even to St. Martin's Press. So let's release it for Christmas. It's a big sale in Christmas. I said, it's a big sale with noted authors. They're going to sell all their books. That's why if you look at, I studied their business. How are you trying to put in an arena of great authors in Christmas? You don't know me, they're going to buy their books. Gersh, all of them. I said, I want to be here. And I waited. They said, why do you want those dates? March 12th was the release of 48 years ago of The Godfather 1. March 10th was the release of The Godfather 50 years ago. What do you think I have all these accolades? I mean, I do 18, 20 interviews a day because they're doing the comparisons as we're doing now. If I was just Joe Smith, that's what I'm saying. Know your business, know your opportunities, know your product, and you've got to be a success. It's like a trial and error. It's like doing due diligence. I knew people don't have that kind of money. You can't do focus groups. So I let the government or the audiences do their own focus groups. And I've proven it. I became a bestseller in 5 days. People are calling me, Nick Pileggi, all these guys are friends of mine. They're saying, how did you do this again? I watched the opportunities. I never wrote a book in my life. I can't even spell my name. Sometimes I look at my jacket. I go, Brioni. Oh, no, I'm on the other side. Gianni Russo. No, I mean, that's an exaggerated example, obviously. But, to me, life is so simple. How are you going to achieve with it? You got to achieve and make it simple for you. Because out there, it's a mess. It's insanity. And for us to try as young individuals, and I always say to myself, put yourself with no money. How are you going to make this product work? Anybody can make, like people sit to me and say, oh, you should buy billboards. Duh. How old are you? I'm older than you. Billboards don't work anymore. It's social media. This is what people are looking at. Why are podcasts working? Nobody's telling you when to tune in. Goes up the whole week and stays there. Nobody wants to be telling you when. Netflix. Why people are making movies. Nobody wants to go buy a ticket because it's going to be in the theater for 10 days, maybe, if it's good. We're in a different world today. You have to conform with it. And look at me, I'm a dinosaur. I mean, Amazon now is like my hero because, they did with my book, and now my products are going out on Amazon. I remember going to the store with my grandmother, the Apollo's on Grand and Mott Street to buy groceries. Now you just pick up the phone and it's delivered to your house. Forget it.
Yeah.
I mean, brick and mortar,
right.
Unfortunately, you got to move with the times. And I have a brand that's recognized with the times. What do you think I went into the food business? I want to be in the food business in my time? No. I want to be in the food business for my grandchildren and their children. I'm creating a legacy. If I had money now, it would confuse me. I live so well without it. I mean, I travel the world. I have houses all over the place. Even my closest friends say, how much money do you really have? I said, I don't have any money. You think I'm going to tell you? That's the secret.
Wow. So basically, you reinvented yourself constantly over the years. Wow.
Go with the flow, man. You don't want to be the guy that invented the pet rock or the hula hoop. That's gone. What's up next? That's it. Convenience. Anything in convenience today, that's what I'm seeing. Convenience. I got 38 food products right now. And again, look who I partnered with. I didn't say I'm going to do this. I went to Greco and Sons in Chicago, who already do $6 billion a year. Why wouldn't I partner with them? They have the network. They have all the wherewithal. That's what you do. Partner up somebody in that business. Every business, there's somebody in that business. Don't think you're going to. They don't want you in it. They'll buy your product and shelve it so you get destroyed. So I go the other way. How can I, and fortunately I found the product. I've been a part of it for 50 years. Quarterly owned family selections coming out through Greco's distributing and importing. I already have credit. They do $6 billion a year. Am I stupid? Well, give me a licensing fee on all that. I couldn't even tell. We're in 18,000 grocery stores in the next 9 months. And then we go to 11 countries.
Wow.
I don't care if you own Pepsi Cola, you ain't making the money I am.
That's a powerful joint venture. Very powerful.
No, and that's how you do it. I can't get in this business. I'm going to have people get me shelf space in it. I know nothing about this business. Give me the people who can produce it. I have them. They gave them to me. They have the relationships. People say, well, how are you going to finance your POs? I'm not. Greco is. They have the credit line. What happens if you grow too fast? We've seen companies get destroyed because you grew too fast. I can grow as much as I want. They have a credit line of $10 billion. How much product do you think I can make? Get out of here. Next.
Mm.
See, that's
Right.
what I'm saying. You
Wow.
watch it. You watch it. I don't care what you are. Like we're both doing podcasts right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's an opportunity here. There's a thirst. Like you're giving these, and I didn't know. I came on your show. I didn't know what your audience is. We talked. Why not? You know how many people helped me? And I don't know if I'm helping you, but you were impressed by Patrick Bet David. I was impressed with him.
Mm-hmm.
But now how in 4 or 5 days I have 242,000 hits? I don't know 240,000 people in my whole life. Probably, I don't know if I could ever even amass that many people. But to me, I'm old school. I am so happy about it. I don't know what I could do for this guy. Maybe I'll buy him a Bentley. I don't know what to do. Sending my message. You're sending my message. And all you and I and Jordan, we're helping people. If they listen, we are helping them. And that's if you read the last line of my book, yes, you can. If I did it, anybody could do it. I mean, they say I made $800 million. You know what I told them? Where is it? Because if they could find it, I'm in trouble. I know where it is. Crazy.
Wow.
A cripple in the 50s. That's what it's about. That's the message. Get out and do it. Don't think, even my kids, they think they're entitled. What are you entitled to? You're entitled to a roof over your head, food in your mouth, and an education. I ain't giving you more than that. That's why a lot of my kids don't like me. I'm buying you. I have a 40-car garage somewhere. And they're my cars. I bought them. Get a 40-car garage for yourself. Why? You go, what's this, a showroom? And nobody's paying a check for it? See you later. Not happening. No way. So get mad at me. What do I care?
So you're not entitled to anything until you can create value first.
What you tell me? So I look at it. And if you live by that rule, you'll be so successful. I've talked to everybody in the world, man. Major people, and pick their brains. And you know why? Even my older kids now, as much as they didn't like, understand, I have a strange situation because I have 9 sons and 2 daughters, but I have 10 mothers to my kids. So these kids, especially my sons, they were mama's boys. So it was like propaganda. They listened to everything their mother said about me. But meanwhile, they were living in my house, going to school, having what they needed. But I ain't giving your mother Versace. I ain't doing any of that shit. Do what I do. Go out and buy yourself, lady. And it destroyed a lot of feelings and sensitivity at a young age. And now they're real understanding. Now they're becoming fathers. They said, Dad, and I had sons come back to me now and said, you were right. I said, I don't want to tell you that. You were too young. You had to go through it. People keep handing you stuff. They're the kids that hang themselves in a garage later on when they first fail. You got to believe in yourself and go do it, man. I don't care what your hardship is. I heard every story in the world. Rise above it and get out there. Find something that makes you impressed and motivated. And you'll achieve it. I know you will. And that's what it's about. It's crazy, man.
Wow. Earlier you mentioned that, you are the product and you have to know your product. So once people like you, respect you, and know you, that's when their minds are made up and they want to invest in you because you are your brand.
Exactly, man. And know that the product is a necessity. If you're one of 100, then you have to do the decimals and realize what your profit's going to be. It's so simple. If I made a cookie right now and we're watching Nabisco and all these other companies go under, why is my cookie going to be better? Forget the cookie. Come up with something else. I mean, the roadmap is there. It's so, and it's so simple, people overlook it. This is not rocket science, especially that we have these opportunities like what we're doing right now. We're going to more people than any billboard. I hired a guy. I was thinking of hiring a guy a couple of years ago, and I remember it well. And he said, well, you know, to move your vodka along, you should buy a billboard out of each tunnel in New York. So I did the math. I knew he was wrong. And my company, my friends of mine own those companies. And I said, how many views, how many this, how many that, and how much money? And I'm saying to myself, I would have to sell 6 containers of vodka a month to pay for the billboard. I'd rather sell 3 containers and keep all the money and not have the billboard. My signing The Godfather. I already did that. So guess what? He never got hired. See you later. I mean, we're in a different arena. It keeps changing. Like how long? I don't even know how long a podcast around. Do you know? Podcast? I don't
Podcast. It's been around, but it hasn't been around that long. But
know. Right?
Gianni, it's over 700 podcast platforms. So when you see the icon when people are listening to podcasts in their cars or their Jeeps or trucks, people are craving for real content. That's huge.
Let's see what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I on it now? I reckon I don't need to be on it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hit that new generation as everything else went. You know, I'm the guy that went from a transistor radio. I probably watched the first TV shows when they had 4 channels. So my education of connecting through social media wasn't even called social media. It was just television, radio. And then we went into, even with The Godfather, when they made these deals, they had nothing else to add. Then they went to videos and DVDs, and I watched the contracts expand. But this is exactly the message. We're in the now world. What do you have to offer? Think of something. It can happen. It's so easy, man. But it goes back to the original core. Believe in yourself. Believe in your product. Nobody else will. Nobody else will.
You said believe in yourself. That is extremely important if you want to grow and excel to the next level.
But you have to have that ego, man. If you don't have that belief in yourself, nobody will. They feel it. It's a complex world, very sophisticated world. And you could sit in front of somebody and walk in and your shirt's unwrinkled. I was taught by the greatest mentors in the world. When I walk in a room, you think I own the room. I got Briones on. They're saying, what's he here for? Because they want to be a part of you. You got to switch it around. It's reverse psychology. These are all the basics of life and success. It never changed. The product changed.
Wow. Gianni, let's talk about the power of using video. Now, I know a couple of years back, Google bought YouTube for $1.6 billion. So video is hot right now. Can you explain to the audience the power of using video? And should entrepreneurs and business owners use video to expand their brand?
I didn't even have to. I mean, they already know it. They're smarter than me. Everybody else listening to what you just asked me to explain, that's the new medium. You're not going to buy a $15,000 ad in Vanity Fair. You're not going to buy a billboard. This gives you content. This gives you immediate accessibility. I didn't create that. I'm not, believe me, I'm learning like they are. Take advantage of what's going on. How simple it is. It's simple. People screw it up.
Wow. You said life is very simple.
Look what's going
Gianni.
on in the media today and society
Mhm.
today, and who's successful and how they get there.
Wow.
Social
Wow.
media, man.
Yeah, social media, that's basically the big gorilla right now. And I know that you talked about Amazon. I know you sell your intellectual property on Amazon, which is your phenomenal book, which is called Hollywood Godfather. And Amazon is basically a fulfillment center.
That's it. It's convenience. People
Mm-hmm.
want people want they want a simple life. And I like that. You know why? When you think about it, the simplicity of not having to go do all the things everybody else used to have to do gives you more opportunity to develop your product.
Wow. Gianni, I wrote down some powerful words, 10 being the highest and 1 being the lowest. So you create them in your own powerful way. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Accountability.
Totally have to be accountability, accessible, and be responsible for accountability, man.
Perseverance.
That's all I am, man. Believe in yourself. That's it. Without perseverance, you got nothing.
Value.
Valuing yourself, the people around you. Respect yourself is your value.
Family.
That's a complicated situation, especially with me. I mean, my family, if they respect me, I respect them. It's that cut and dry. I'm not kissing nobody's ass.
Love.
Love's a four-letter word, like so many other. Make sure you know how to handle it.
Relentless.
Which?
Relentless.
Oh, I'm relentless. I'm totally relentless. That becomes in self-pride.
Income producing assets.
Well, that's what we talked about all night. You got to create them, unless you would survive.
Leverage.
Leverage is, again, taking advantage of what's your opportunity now. We're in the now world. The leverage you have is creating something people need, or let them believe they need it. They really don't need it, but 20% will make you successful.
Health.
Health is everything. If you don't have your health, look at me. I got more energy than my kids. I'm 76. Without health, just go lay down and die, man. Forget everything else. God bless to all of you, man. Thank you.
God bless you.
Powerful. Thank you, Mr. Russo. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. To everyone that's listening, I highly recommend get involved with the phenomenal Gianni Russo. You hear the passion that came through his voice. He broke down layman's terms about life is simple. And invest in his phenomenal book, which is called Hollywood Godfather. And I promise you, that book will take your mindset and your business and your soul to the next level. But remember, you have to implement what you learn. So my name is Arthur Robinson Jr. I'm the creator and host of the Powerful Interviews podcast, along with my phenomenal co-host, successful entrepreneur, Jordan Phillip. And make the initial investment and invest in yourself and learn from phenomenal people that can take you to the next level. You know, the great Warren Buffett said, the more you learn, the more you earn. So to everyone that's listening, remember that the strongest asset each and every one of you have is your brain, and what you think about and what you take action on, that will become your reality, and your mentality creates your reality. May God bless each and every one of you, and bye for now. Thank you, Gianni Russo.
Hear, hear. I love those last words. Thank you.